Hey, everybody, and welcome to a special recording. We have a recorded match from the June monthly top eight. It's actually the semifinals between Phil Taylor and Bryan Manolakos. But before we jump into the decks, let me introduce the person who you will be excited to hear. I have Lester on the line. Say hi, Lester.
Hello.
All right. So the two decks that we have, they're both very spicy deck lists. So it's really cool that we get to see them pitted against each other. But the deck that Phil has is the Dark Fires Bombardment. So the general gist of this deck is you want to put Gamekeeper into play. And that's a 4 mana 2/2. But when it dies, you start flipping cards off your deck until you hit another creature. So you might hit another Gamekeeper, and if you do, hopefully you have a Cabal Therapy that you can flash back, and then it can keep going. But eventually, like the big payoff is getting Symbiotic Wurm. And then the other synergies is, especially with Goblin Bombardment, which is a 2 mana enchantment, you can sacrifice a creature to deal a damage to any target. And so with the Symbiotic Wurm, you could deal just 8 damage right there. And so there's some other interactions in terms of like Call the Herd can go in the graveyard or Recurring Nightmare, and then there's Saproling Burst also makes a bunch of tokens that can work with the bombardments. But there's a lot going on with this deck. What are your impressions of the main deck here, Lester?
Pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean that's really all I can say. I haven't really seen it in play, but it's pretty interesting. Symbiotic Wurm's definitely cool in this format.
Yeah, I think Phil had mentioned a little bit about how he just built the deck just based off of like a bunch of the cards he really liked. I think like Goblin Bombardment and Gamekeeper and might have been Saproling Burst. I don't remember exactly the cards that he wanted to build around, but he jammed them all in a deck, and he did really well in the monthly. And so here he is in the top eight once again, but with a deck that I don't think anyone in Premodern has ever played before. Maybe people have tried, but I've never seen anyone do well with it. But so it's pretty excited to see this in the top eight. So, and then we'll look at Bryan Manolakos' deck, which is no slouch either. So dubbed the Wishing Portal because of Living Wish and our Erratic Portal. Erratic Portal is a 4 mana artifact from Exodus. You can pay 1 and tap it to return target creature to its owner's hand unless that controller pays 1. So while it can target your opponent's creatures if they're tapped out, but I think a lot of the time you're just going to plan on using it on your own creatures since that's a little bit more reliable. And there's a bunch of enter the battlefield effects with the Battle Mages, Avalanche Riders, Deranged Hermit, and of course, like the Living Wish has a package with, I think it's 15 unique cards between creatures and lands that he can get with the Living Wish. So this list looks really cool. It always looks like one of those decks that like seem like a blast to play, but I'm always kind of afraid because it might be too clunky and you just might die to like a combo deck. But it seems like a blast to play. What do you think?
Yeah, I've seen him. I actually saw him post this one a couple times, and like you said, it looks kind of clunky, but once it gets going, it looks super fun.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like it's just got a ton of lines to play, and yeah, kind of definitely seems like a fun deck.
Yeah, lots of value to be had, that's for sure. So
For sure.
all right, let's jump over to our match. So we do have a recorded match. So I'm gonna start playing, and then Lester and I will just do the commentary over it. So we're starting at game one. Phil's obviously on the play, as you can see. Bryan had mulligan to 6 cards. So I'm gonna start with a Cabal Therapy.
What do you even name?
Well, I mean, the deck lists are open at this point, but I don't know, like, because I don't know if Phil is like worried about a card like Erratic Portal, because that is like probably Bryan's most important card if the game goes long. But Phil might be thinking I'm trying to go for like a shorter game plan. Like if he just has like a way to sacrifice a Gamekeeper, then he's hoping just to kind of like just get a quick Symbiotic Wurm. Like you might name like Swords of Plowshares, I could see. But I do know he missed. I know I tried to listen to a little bit of the video, and the audio is not there for Phil, so I don't know what he named, but I'll update.
I suppose birds and walls are the best mana accelerators across the board, right? In Bryan's deck.
Yeah. So there's Birds of Paradise, there's Wall of Roots, and I mean, I don't know if you count Gaia's Cradle as like mana acceleration, but I think those are like the mana cards. But we still Phil, he has Rampant Growth, and that, I mean,
Yep.
part of the reason is you can't really play Birds of Paradise or Wall of Roots in a deck when you're planning on using Gamekeeper, so uh, that makes sense. I've played Rampant Growth in a Mana Flare combo deck, and it was like one of the best cards. So it's surprising how like how innocent it is, but just being able to get that extra mana a turn quicker is can be really powerful. Because like right here, like Phil's threatening to play like Gamekeeper a turn earlier, and that's really part of his game plan.
I know. I played in a Cloud Thresher deck back in the day, and it was surprisingly good.
Okay, you got to get a lot of green mana for your Cloud Thresher. So
Yeah, like you had to have a lot of force and stuff. It wasn't fun. Lots of green mana.
I think
Are we wishing now?
uh
I think he's wishing, right?
maybe I can't see it's off screen, so I was bringing up Gamekeeper, so I wasn't looking at the screen at the moment.
Fair
So,
enough. So what's the best wish targets against this deck?
I don't even know. That's the thing. Like, Mana always plays like just 15 unique cards that I didn't. I don't have the sideboard memorized, so
Sure.
I'm not even exactly sure what his like go to card is. The thing is, I always have that temptation, and I think I did do the same thing. I played a wish sideboard, and I had 15 unique cards, but I always found myself just like wishing for the same like 3 cards. Oh, here's getting a Gaia's Cradle. It looks like.
Oh, I guess he has Gilded Drake and Mesmeric Fiend on the board too.
Okay.
Those aren't bad.
Yeah, the Gaia's or the Gilded Drake can be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gaia's Cradle is nice because he does have like one thing, he does have Winter Orbs in his deck, and so if he's under Winter Orb, Gaia's Cradle, I guess he has 2 Birds of Paradise in play, but being able to get a bunch of mana just from one land is really good for him. It's interesting, like I don't know how Mana like tries to approach this because I feel like he kind of has to react to what Phil is doing, but maybe that's not necessarily true. Like maybe if he's just casting Avalanche Riders, then Phil is forced to do something first. But we see Phil with a Pernicious Deed that takes out 2 Birds of Paradise, which seems like it really could really slow down Bryan.
Yeah, Brian's deck definitely seems like it's very mana hungry.
Yeah, I like once it gets to a certain point though, like it could probably have a bunch of mana, especially like with Gaia's Cradle, because if you have Deranged Hermit and I mean you could be like bouncing it back and forth and recasting it, you could have like a million creatures in play. But like
Right.
getting up to that point, like just like when you're having cards like Avalanche Riders and Erratic Portal, which are 4 mana, and I mean the Avalanche Riders impacts the board, but it's kind of a minimal impact. Like a 2/2 body for 4 isn't super impressive. So like you still might fall behind on board. So but it looks like Phil really isn't punishing Bryan yet. He's just attacking with a Treetop Village.
Like at this point, like Avalanche Riders is obviously going to take out Treetop Village, but it doesn't really slow him down at all.
He could take out a Llanowar Wastes because that cuts him off to black.
That's true.
Yes, I think Phil must be at 1 less life since he cast Pernicious Deed.
Ooh, Winter Orb.
Okay. So yeah, that's gonna. I guess you don't really need to blow up the Treetop Village if you just have a Winter Orb in play. So if you want to attack every 3rd turn with your Treetop Village, then maybe that's okay.
I'm usually not a fan of Winter Orb in this format. It just doesn't seem to do as much as you want it to do.
It's really, I mean, like it's hit and miss. I feel like because there are just some decks that it just doesn't do enough, like the elves and the goblins and the dreadnought decks where
Yep.
they just don't care about. They don't. Their spells are either really small or they just have a way of getting around it, like with Goblin Lackey or Llanowar type stuff, and so it can be kind of annoying because it just doesn't do anything. But some matchups, it's, I mean, like, you resolve it against a control player, or like even like Phil. Like Phil is gonna change his game plan based on this Winter Orb being in play.
Or Portal is, of course, great.
Yeah, I mean, especially because you have like the Avalanche Riders and you can protect it. I don't know how many instant speed removal spells Phil has, but I think he
I
has
didn't
like
see any. You just had Innocent Blood.
Innocent Blood. I guess Pernicious Deed in some sense, uh, but yeah, he can always protect his creatures from removal. All right, here's a Cabal Therapy. You, all right, is he?
So he knows what Avalanche Rider.
Yeah. And
Got that.
the rest of the hand is Erratic Portal and
Terrain Tournament.
the Range Tournament. So
He's got that Cradle too.
yeah, but right now, yeah, I guess, I mean, a few turns later, he'll be able to cast that Terrain Tournament,
Right.
and then then he will have a bunch of mana because of the Cradle. But right now, he's a ways off. And man, Phil just has a lot of land. Like, he hasn't drawn. How close is he to casting Symbiotic Wurm? Does it cost? I think
You gotta,
8?
you gotta leave extra up. I guess you could just therapy it away.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Oh, there's a Fires of Yavimaya. Well, I'm guessing he doesn't have the Symbiotic Wurm in his hand then.
Yeah.
Because of using 3 mana to tap the fire since there's a Winter Orb in play. But I was surprised. I played Symbiotic Wurm in a few decks, and like, I was surprised how many times I hard casted this guy. Like, I don't know, it was just like weird games that I played, but I remember playing you, and I just cast it on turn like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And there were other matches where the games went really long, and I just cast this guy.
It's a bad feeling when your opponent's tapping out to cast that guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, most decks are not set up to deal with this guy, so.
No.
I guess, I mean, Sword Splashers is a pretty clean answer, but.
So what about playing Fires instead of the Crossroads? What do you think about that?
So you're just saying
Crossroads does affect both players, but
yeah. I like Fire. Well, I think the main reason he played Fires is because it was like a card he just loved. It was just like a nostalgia
I
card
see
for him.
that.
But I mean, I don't even know if you need really either of them, but
I've seen a lot of people trying to make Fires work.
yeah.
Bam, you can get him for 1 now.
Damn. Gamekeeper's a 2/2.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, so much power.
Yeah. I always knew this card because of, like, there was a legacy deck called Golden Grams that basically did the same thing, but I think it just put like Darksteel Colossus into play. Like, I mean, it was not a good legacy deck, and it was a long time ago. Like, the creature suite was not very exciting what you could put into play, but
I'm pretty sure Oathkeeper is one of the first legacy decks. I don't know what it put into play back then, but I remember being popular.
all right. So he sacrificed and got another Gamekeeper. So
He should have 1 more therapy though, right? I think I think he has 2. He had 1 on turn 1.
yeah, and then he used another one to get the
Yep.
Avalanche Rider.
So you can probably do it again, actually.
Yeah. So was he just waiting for?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was what it was.
Okay.
Boom.
That makes more sense.
Is that No, that's Battle Mage. I thought that was Triskelion in his hand.
I thought it was Rampant Growth, but yeah,
Fair.
I thought it was the 7th edition Rampant Growth is what I thought it was. But yeah, I think it's the Thornscape Battle Mage.
There we go.
All right.
That's the payoff.
And Phil is not tapped out, right? He would need to have. But if he only has one, mana untapped.
He gets in for 7, and then it gets bounced.
He could get in for 9, right? Because he could sack the
that's true.
fires. But is there another Cabal Therapy?
No.
Okay.
Maybe he milled one. He might have milled one, actually.
Yeah. Oh, there's an Innocent Blood.
Oh.
Okay. Perfect. Well...
Wait, you can just bounce it right now.
Yeah.
Got him.
That's good. So I'm assuming that, the damage went through first, so you got him for 7 at least. But yeah, now this guy's can go back to his hand and...
What, we can recast it in 8 turns, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but Phil has 8 lands. Oh yeah, there's a winter there's a winter orb in play, so I don't think it'll be anytime soon that he's casting that one.
So you think the Innocent Blood was just a stone cold bluff? He just went for it, or you think he forgot about the portal?
I think
he might have forgot.
I think I spoke to Phil. I think he said he forgot that spot.
Okay. It is a good bluff too,
It's. I mean, I guess because if Mano remembers it, then he's just gonna do it at his turn and then untap and do it again.
Yep.
So it doesn't seem unreasonable to even if you didn't forget about that, that's a reasonable line because I don't know. But then I guess you don't get to use your Innocent Blood later, but I guess Innocent Blood seems pretty bad too, anyways, because what is the spot you're ever going to be able to use it against Mano? Because he's just gonna pick up that creature. I guess if he has multiple creatures in play, then he might not be able to do it.
Yeah, technically, if he would have used it on his turn to try to bones the guy, then actually bones in his turn, now he could have gotten the birds technically, but pretty low impact.
All right, we got Call the Herd. This is another card that I feel like a lot of people come into Premodern and they're like, yeah, I remember this card being great. It's awesome. It's sweet. And just most of the time, it's just not enough.
Yeah, Cole actually did the same thing, but he kind of broke it.
Okay.
But yeah, that card is... people forget it's modern legal too, and no one ever plays it.
So Bob Baker has I don't know if it's technically an outstanding, just if it just always exists, but we used to play Rug Delver when Modern was relatively new. I really wanted to play Call the Herd, and he said he would give me $1 every time I cast Call the Herd, and I don't know if it had to be a certain level of it couldn't just be a kitchen table magic. It had to be an actual tournament, which is kind of funny because even if I flash it back, I get it. So basically, if I ever draw Call the Herd, I get $2.
Right.
But I still don't think I'd even made it in my 75 most of the time. So that's saying something.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played it in Modern. I have ran it in Premodern a few times.
Yeah, I've played it a few times, and I like it. I played it in some aggro decks, and it's nice because it's as a 3/3 for 3. It's not bad, and then if you just draw a few too many lands, then you can flash it back. All right, where are we at in this game? So that elephant, so he's tapped out right now, right? So this elephant can just
get bounced.
Yeah, just be gone forever.
Yep. Really, once the winter orb comes down with a bird and the portal.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't really even think about that, but yeah, that combination is pretty good.
Yeah, because you're you might have to pay 2 mana to get rid of something, but it's still 2 mana to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Cradle's actually live too, keep in mind.
Yeah, so... And eventually I think it'll be making more than 1 mana. Yeah, he has a Deranged Tournament, so...
Yep.
So this looks pretty good for Mano, even though he's at 6. So
might have want to tap Bird there instead of the Cradle, but...
I guess he's doing either. He's using both.
Yeah.
So the token's gone forever. Phil just gets one untapped land at a Wooded Foothills.
He's gotta be close to having every land, right?
You think he has like 10 right now? He's still probably got a good amount of land still. I guess there's a number in his graveyard from like fetch lands and whatnot, but
yeah, he milled a couple away too, I think.
Yeah. So this attack is for 9. I think I have his life totals wrong, but
that's it.
Yeah. So one more draw step and then he doesn't find anything. All right. Let's look at the sideboard. So with Mano having a Wish sideboard, he's probably not going to bring in as many cards, but looking at Phil, Tormod's Crypt, okay, that doesn't seem to do that much. Coffin Purge, same idea. 3 Naturalizes seem good, right? Like, I think you
have to have him against the Winter Orb probably.
Yeah. I mean, you do have Pernicious Deed, but like also like hitting Erratic Portal is really nice.
Yeah.
I think those 2 cards are probably the ones you're worried about the most. So, are you interested in like something like Terminate? Like, do you think that's the fight you want to play? Like,
I don't think Terminate or Simoon are very good.
Okay.
I don't think the Phantom Nishobas are good either.
I think the Simoon is better than Terminate almost because like it's decent against a range tournament. It's fine against birds and like a Terminate won't do that much if there's like an erratic portal in play. So, but I don't think I would bring in the Simoons.
I think I would bring in the Deed before I bring in the Simoons, and I don't think I want the Deed either.
Yeah, I think I would bring in the Deed, but I guess I don't know what we're taking out here.
Probably. I mean, the Burst isn't very good, right? The Saproling Burst. You want it to be a lot better than it is, but
that's fair. I guess I would take out. I think there's 2 Terminates in the main. I think I would take those out, and I think I would try and fight with Naturalizes and stuff.
You could probably take out Recurring Nightmare too. I don't know how good that would actually be. That might just be a.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like a one of you have to draw it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
So expecting Naturalize is probably what we're thinking. So let's look at Mano's deck. I mean, if a card like when would you bring in a card like that's in the switchboard, like where it's like something you wouldn't really wish for, but it's just marginally better than a card you're main? Or do you think you just most of the time you just leave it alone? I mean, it looks well. I can see the video. It looks like he's sideboarding a little, so I don't know.
I think he's got some cards you would just naturally bring in, like Wall of Blossoms against some decks you don't really want to wish for. You don't have time for it.
Fair.
So I could see just bringing that in. He's got some cards that kind of double up on the features, like Flame Tongue and Bone Shredder kind of do the same thing. So you might want to bring in, say, a Flame Tongue and leave Bone Shredder in the board, something like that.
I don't
think you do that in this matchup.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just bring in Triskelion in this matchup. Like, are you ever going to wish for it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, maybe that's the answer, too. Maybe you just are never going to wish for certain cards in this matchup. Like, Wall of Blossoms is a very good main deck, probably. You're going to attack by 7/7s, usually.
Yeah, it still draws a card, and it's, like, fine if you...
I guess it blocks Call the Herd.
The Erratic Portal gets online, and...
That's true.
I don't know. All right. I think I found the right...
He's got bolts, too, that are probably pretty dead.
Yeah, I guess, like, the only advantage is it just kind of finishes someone off.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we'll start game 2. Mano has mulligan to 6. And so Phil will start off with a Treetop Village. I should probably reset the life totals. Should have done that when we were talking, but... Okay, Birds of Paradise off of City of Brass. I mean, does that mean... That means he's probably got no green source, right? So... Or he's just got a bunch of City of Brasses. Do you think like having a double city draw like might put him low enough that it changes what Phil does, or do you think his Mano's life total matters? Doesn't really matter.
I don't think it matters too much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess so. Like,
I think that Phil's deck it's not slow by any means, but I think he's got to get chugging along at times.
yeah, he certainly. I guess there are certain opportunities where he can do like a big burst of, like if he has Goblin Bombardment and then plays Gamekeeper. I guess he would need like fires in play too for him to like attack for 7, shoot. So I don't.
He's got the old traditional fire Saproling Burst though too. That's like that's still good. What are we wishing for here? Maybe we're just gonna wish for Cradle. Get some non-damaging lands.
Yeah.
He did wish, right?
I don't know if I was listening to the recording, but I think maybe he said that he just like started looking through his deck when he did cast a Living Wish. So I think he is.
Oh, fair enough.
And he just realized he just realized that he screwed up. I think that's what happened.
Fair enough. Bam. He wished for Battle Mage.
That's what it looks like.
That's one that discards, and what's the green effect? Destroys an artifact?
It might blow up a land. I think it blows up a land.
Really?
Yes. Let's see. Hold on. Is that the invasion one or plane shift?
Plane shift.
Destroys an enchantment. Okay.
Oh.
There, like the white one, I think blows up a land. I don't know. So Cabal Therapy shows a Cartographer, so that was a card that he brought in. That was a sideboard card, I think.
Yep.
Looks like another Living Wish, and then I can't even tell the card.
Took away the Battle Mage. Battle Mage does make you discard 2, right?
Yes. Yeah. If
you have 2 cards.
That Black Kicker is paid.
Yep.
Cabal Therapy is like way trickier if you're like playing a rogue deck like Manos, because it's just like, I guess a lot of times like with Living Wish it's nice that you knew a card so you just name it, but it's kind of like I'm assuming that Phil's never played this matchup before, and it's hard to know like what cards I guess he's likely to have or what's like really important.
So. I think it's safe to say nobody's ever played this matchup before. Like
Right, looks like the players are discussing, or I don't know what's going on right now, but it seems like we're paused.
We're definitely on Bryan's turn. I think he's just deciding what he wants to do here.
Okay, because he's got access to 4 mana, and so
he's definitely not swinging with birds. I know that.
You sure? It looked like an attack to me. I don't know. All right,
right.
You got a Wall of Roots, and then more City of Brass activations.
I did die to a Birds of Paradise getting Might of Oaks one time. It was pretty embarrassing.
Nice. Was that from Legacy?
No, it was in Standard. The guy attacked me like 4 turns in a row.
I just meant when it was originally printed, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Legacy.
Alright, this Living Wish is getting a Deranged Hermit, so he does have access to 5 mana. I guess he would have to tap those City of Brass twice if he wanted to keep it around, but
we can technically get rid of that with the therapy, though. Animate Treetop and get rid of it.
Sure. I feel like you kind of want to.
It might be a desperation play here if we got nothing else.
Yeah, I guess that's reasonable.
I mean, I guess he could just have Deed too. He could let him play it and then just deed it away if he's got Deed.
Yeah, that would be really good. Here we got. Oh, it was double fetch.
Yep, double fetch.
Save a little bit of time and get them both at the same time. Yeah, I think in general you want to use the save the Cabal Therapy, so when you have like a Gamekeeper, you're able to sack it right away.
There we go.
This would get around. I mean, Swords to Plowshares isn't like in play right now, but um, that if you can maintain priority and then never give them a chance. Well, that one, the top card was a Gamekeeper, so
I mean, we're gonna get the Deranged Tournament this way, though. Anyways,
that's true. Yeah, you're gonna get a card out of it, so. I mean, do you ever like think? Is there like ever a card? I mean, certainly Cartographer doesn't matter here, right?
no. I mean, I guess Winter Orb would be scary too.
Okay.
Sometimes you get Winter Orbed by someone, like you just start living in fear of it.
Yeah. Is it? I think we're pausing it. Like Phil is trying to figure out what to name, right?
I think so.
Okay.
So he's got Llanowar Elf yet?
Okay.
No, he doesn't have Llanowar Elf.
So he didn't name Deranged Tournament. So then maybe he. I don't know exactly what he named, but maybe he did name a card like Winter Orb, or maybe like a Radic Portal, but I don't know. Okay.
I mean, he could have potentially just named Swords there too.
Yes. That's also a reasonable card.
Because you don't get Gamekeeper. You don't get, yeah.
Yeah, because if your goal is to get like Symbiotic Wurm, I guess even like Symbiotic Wurm does an okay job. Because if you have Gamekeeper and you're going through the cycle, you're pretty likely to get another like Cabal Therapy, but and then you could just maintain priority and sack it right away. All right, so Bryan is going to be casting this Deranged Tournament. Okay.
He is shocking himself though. So
yeah, down to 13. How do you like the Bram Snupfingers tokens?
Classy.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard them talk about the Bram tokens, and also I've seen like a photo of like someone who comes over to like his draft weekends, and I don't know if he made pants or shorts or boxers, but they just had Bram's face on it, and so that's some dedication, I guess, to your craft. But
I think there's two versions of Rams, right? Was there one with the blue background too?
Pro player cards? I don't know if he would have been on the original one. I think he just got it like when he like got elected in the Hall of Fame, but I could be wrong.
Maybe.
I feel like most of the players actually did have multiple. So I mean, if you're remembering a blue background one, then maybe he was on like the first editions. All right, we got a Pernicious Deed.
So we saw that one happen.
So Deed for 2 is great here. It just gets rid of Bryan's whole board, right? Because he can't pay the upkeep, and then he'll lose.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's pretty insane.
I guess like the only downside is you don't have a way to like kill your own Gamekeeper, but I don't know.
We can.
I guess you could wait. I mean, if your life total is a resource for Phil, you could like untap and then do it for 5, right?
Well, doing it for, I mean, Gatekeeper's 4, right?
Yeah, but you want to get rid of the Deranged Tournament if he keeps it around. I'm saying like.
Do you think he's gonna upkeep it with a Deed in play though? I doubt you upkeep it.
Are you gonna? Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think you're gonna play either of the cards in your hand, but so maybe you would. But all right, this Gamekeeper gets attack. Well, you get to block.
That's just a free block, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll take 1.
So we got Cartographer. What's the other card in Bryan's hand?
Llanowar Elf.
Okay, I thought so.
Well, this City of Brass.
Got him for another one.
Yep.
At this point, we might have Gamekeeper Treetop beatdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a 2-turn clock, right?
Yeah.
I mean, technically 3, but like, Bryan can't cast any spells. Okay, there's a Wasteland. Yeah. Alright, so just the Gamekeeper beats, but
yeah, still good.
yeah, it's still like, I mean, with Mano's position, like 2 City of Brass and 1 Llanowar Elf, your life total is going to be down pretty quick.
I think he's got Innocent Blood here.
Well, you got to attack first, unless you have like a Fires. But
Innocent Blood and the Fires would be pretty
good.
Unless you had another Gamekeeper.
Yeah. All right. Mano has him at 10. I had him at 11 before, but I guess I'll put him down to 10. All right, so here's a Cabal Therapy. I'm assuming you just name Cartographer on the front half. And then you can make the decision when you want to flash it back on the back.
Is Cartographer ever a card you're worried about, though?
Well, I mean...
It's Battle Mage again. He clearly didn't name it. He must have named... I bet you he named, like... Maybe he named... I don't know if he named Swords.
Well, if you're going to flash it back, then why wouldn't you name the card you know about?
Because if you cast Cartographer, it's a shock.
Just like baiting him into making the wrong play, I guess.
You just never name a 3-mana spell. Just let him keep shocking himself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe his original plan wasn't to use both halves, but because given what was in his hand, he thought it would be okay then. I guess that would make sense, but...
I mean, what's he named this time?
That's what I was going to say, like...
Is there even a land in the board? Or
yeah, there's a Wasteland.
There's a Wasteland.
Yep.
So you're just going to let him have that.
Alright, we got the Symbiotic Wurm in play.
Yeah, this game did not play out how I thought it would.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at the power. Boom.
Alright, we got a Wasteland in play now.
We got a free blocker now, too.
Yeah, it's like gaining 5 life.
Yeah. It's 5 life, draw Wasteland.
That's a good card.
And that Wasteland's going to save so much life in the long run, probably.
I don't think this game is going to go on that many turns, unless... I guess he could just draw Sword Splashers, and then we're kind of back.
Then we're at land where Elf beats.
Like, what kind of cards is Phil just keeping in his hand? Like Saproling Bursts? I don't...
Yeah, 5 mana cards.
He doesn't have that many, I don't think.
He could have Worm. He could have Symbiotics in his hand too.
Yeah. So he used City of Brass instead of using Llanowar Elf. But then he blocks with birds. I'm confused there. But alright. Attack with that worm. Alright, Llanowar Elf gets in the way. So Mano has...
yeah, I can't.
Didn't draw anything, and the worm finishes him off.
Maybe at this point you just side out like Cartographer. Didn't have enough impact.
Wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Alright, let me figure out when they start. And we will jump right just into the last game.
Did Bryan have cards that attack the graveyard in his board? I don't think he did, right?
I don't think so. All right. I think they're about to start. So neither player is mulliganed for this game 3. And Mano gets to start with a Wooded Foothills, which he taps and then sacks. Are you a fan of the tapping the fetch land, the proper way to do it?
Huge fan of it.
Alright. Ooh. We got Sulfurous
I like
Springs.
doing it. I really like doing it and then just searching on the other turn too. Save so much time.
Yeah, I probably never do that, so I guess I shouldn't say. I like tend to just do everything like technically correct.
Yeah. Boom.
Alright, so we had Innocent Blood take out a Llanowar Elf, and then Wasteland took out a Sulfur Springs, and a replacement Llanowar Elf was here, so.
And that forest definitely has something written on it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what.
I'm guessing it has to do something with old school, but. Alright, the Llanowar Elf's getting busy. Puts him down to 18.
This is like a dream draw.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially, like, I think Avalanche Riders is probably, like, the next card you want the most, right?
I don't know. Battle Mage seems pretty good too. Just make him start discarding.
I guess, yeah, like, you have 5 mana. Oh, well, it's going to be neither of those. How do you like attacking for 1?
It's not really as good as 2, but it's still pure magic.
That's true. But yeah, I feel like things look pretty good for Bryan. But I guess if he doesn't have a play on that turn, then like, how many cards are in his hand? It just doesn't seem like he's got that much going on then. Because if you're not casting, if you're not casting something with 4 or 5 mana, like what's in your hand? Or like lightning bolt or swords of plowshares?
Potentially swords. You might have Winter Orb too. I mean, Winter Orb is just not good here. You don't want to cast it.
That's true, but it's also kind of like a liability in your hand, right? I don't know. I don't know if Phil has been naming Winter Orb. Like, obviously, Bryan knows what he has been naming, and we don't.
Yeah,
but especially if Phil like had previously like named Winter Orb when he like, because there was a time where he like passed up on a Drainage tournament and named a different card and missed. Like if he named Winter Orb in that spot, then maybe you might want to run it out. I don't know.
So we either had a bluff of a Fires of Yavimaya or a call that heard there.
Why did you just like start tapping his mana?
He tapped and untapped, so I could see it being a call because call just really stops the Llanowar Elf. But he definitely had something in his hand for 3 mana that he took back.
Maybe it's a Pernicious Deed and he just forgot he had didn't have black. I don't know.
Oh, that could be. I've seen that happen a lot. Now he's got the black mana.
All right, I'll go to 15. He's got a Cabal Therapy. What are you naming?
Well, he's not casting any 5 mana spells. Cast Living Wish?
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe Living Wish because that. But I don't know. I feel like you'd probably cast Living Wish on that turn before. I don't know.
Because is there anything? I mean, I guess you could Living Wish for Avalanche Rider. But you didn't really have. Yeah, you did have enough mana. What are we gonna name? Yeah, we got Hermit and what else?
I think it's a Wasteland. It's hard for me to tell. I'm leaning in. I don't even know if it's a Hermit. Is that a Guy's Cradle? I think it's just 2 land.
Oh.
This Llanowar Elf, he knows what to do. He does not make mana. He just attacks.
That's an old school land. It was Wasteland. It was an old school Llanowar Elf. They don't. They're not afraid of the red zone.
That's true. We have a Radical. Okay. How do you feel about picking up your Wall Roots to refresh its counters?
I like it.
We got to naturalize though, so Bill was at the ready for the erratic portal.
I guess last game he could have had a bunch of Naturalize in his hand too.
Yeah. So here's a Rampant Growth.
Here we go.
Build your mana back up after you get Wastelanded down. You're getting a swamp here, I'm guessing, right? Yep. Okay. I don't know actually how many swamps are in his list, but it's kind of I think he might have more than one, but it is vulnerable just to get blown up by an Avalanche Riders, and then probably a lot harder for him to get black mana. But I think he does have multiple basics, so.
That Simoon would be looking pretty good. Get rid of that Rowdy Elf.
I think it gets the flyers too, right?
Yeah, I think it gets everything for one.
Yeah. Do you play the Invasion Simoon, or do you play the... I think it was Vision?
No, you play the Visions one.
Visions?
Yeah.
I think I like the art on the Invasion one. But this one's kind of cool.
I once got a bunch of Korean packs of Tempest for trading Simoons. There was some guy whose last name was Simoon, and he collected them.
I mean, like, that seems like a real good reason to collect them.
Yeah.
The black and white sacred monkey holds her children to her and waits. Love song of night and day. How do you feel about that?
It's not bad. I mean, that artwork is just amazing, right?
I mean, it is good. Like,
it's pretty good artwork for back in the day.
It's just not the artwork that I usually like the most, but I mean, it is. I think it is a good piece. So I don't know.
I think we just had a cradle for 3 mana over there. I don't know what we're doing with it.
Well, I guess Mano doesn't know what he's doing with it either. Well, how many choices does he have? Because it seemed like before, like he didn't have any options, and now all of a sudden he does have a bunch of options. I guess Living Wish, that would be the card, right? That you're thinking, but at that point you just cast it and then look at your sideboard. But
It looks like he's got 2 or 3 cards in his hand.
I'm just surprised because there were just turns ago he just like passed without doing anything, right? Or just playing like a birds or something.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he's fumbling with a sideboard. Maybe he doesn't have any cards in hand. He's just looking at a sideboard.
Oh, I guess
that's where the cards came from.
I was gonna say that is a fat stack of cards. So
right.
What? He must have cast Living Wish.
I think Triskelion is his biggest beater in his sideboard, right?
Yeah, but he's going for the mana denial.
Yep. He doesn't actually have anything or bail off in the sideboard.
Okay.
He's got Dragoons for his life scanner.
Fair enough.
Kind of scary.
That's pretty good with the portal.
Yeah. They'll definitely get an eye roll from a red player.
Hopefully they have a Sulfuric Vortex.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so here we have a Gamekeeper, so that's good. And
he's got Therapy in the yard too.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't even know if Mano has any cards at hand, but I probably naming like something like Swords of Plowshares at that point.
I don't think he does have any cards in hand. At that point, if your opponent has no cards in hand, what's the craziest card to name?
I usually go with like Hunted Wumpus, but
fair enough. I actually play Hunted Wumpus, so
yeah. So, what do you name?
I don't even know.
I do like the like.
You definitely don't name anything legal in the format. I know that.
Okay, all right. I do like the can't remember. I don't think this is the right context, but I do like naming Abandon Hope.
That's a good one.
And I think I've said this before, but like, you do it like if it doesn't matter and it's kind of like they're dead anyways. but also like kind of has like a history. Like I always remember playing on like MTG Workstation, and I think at the time like this was alphabetically the first card, so it was also like the most convenient card to name because it was just like the first one that was there. But it also was kind of like a rub-in because it kind of was just telling him like your hope's gone, hope of winning. But
I wonder what the percentage is that you just Gamekeeper into another Gamekeeper with this deck.
I think there's 3 Symbiotic Worms, so it's like 50-50 then, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's slightly less than 50-50 because you might be likely to draw a Symbiotic Worm, but it's around 50-50, I would say. But then, like, anytime you do have a bombardment, or which we haven't, has he even cast a bombardment this match?
He's milled a bunch, but he's not drawn one yet.
Yeah. But if you ever have that or like the therapy, then it doesn't really matter.
Bombardment seems so fun in this deck.
Yeah, certainly just flinging stuff at your opponent.
Just mowing down all of your opponent's creatures too.
Yeah, that would feel good. All right, we got Echo being paid. How do you feel about paying Echo and for Avalanche Riders in general?
I've always liked it. I've always
Okay.
done it for the most part.
Okay. Just
Unless you have something like really good to do, I think you always pay it.
what if like you just don't anticipate it like getting through for damage like almost ever?
I mean, he's got nothing else to do with the mana, right? He's already got 7 mana.
Sure. I'm talking more of like a hypothetical and like in other decks, like if you might be able to play something to the board, but
I played a lot of Pawns and I played a lot of Sped back in the day. And for the most part, I always paid it.
okay. Make them deal with your 2/2.
Yeah, it's still something. I mean, at that point, you're still stone raining them, and you got like a 2/2 for 1 red mana.
Yeah.
Usually, even if they got like walls or something like that, you can start getting around it eventually. Oh, there's our first swords.
Okay. So that'll get rid of the Gamekeeper.
Yep.
He'll gain 2, then he'll attack for 2, so that seems good for mana, right?
Yeah, that seems really good. We got 2 Gamekeepers down. Oh,
okay.
never mind.
This one's ready to block, so
This is where the birds has to get in there. The only guy's got a clear shot.
Alright, was that just a draw go from Bryan?
Yep. We've not seen too many battle mages.
No.
Bryan's got a lot of battle mages in his deck.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think which card he wants to draw the most. I guess it's probably just Erratic Portal, right? But I guess Terrain Sherman's fine too.
Swords of Plowshare is probably pretty good here too.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Phil is just stuck on land.
Okay. Well, he might
He
have,
probably got some.
or he might have black cards in his hand.
He might have Naturalizes.
That's true.
He might have Boom Booms in his hand too.
Might have what? Oh, Boom Booms.
Boom Booms?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There you go.
Oof.
Wasteland for the Treetop Village. But that presumably was the card that Mano drew, so.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil's just looking for like a Goblin Bombardment, right?
He's got. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, he's got black mana now. Some Bombardment, Innocent, Blood.
Like Saproling Burst okay here? I don't know. It's not. I guess it's not.
It's exciting.
It looks like a deed if he's taking damage.
Yep. I don't know if you. I mean, you can just say go here because even if he tries to kill your deed, you still get value from it. But deeding for 4 next turn would be just exciting.
Yes, that would be very good. Yeah, I think Mano just plays like a Brushland, so. Yep, Phil gets untapped, so I have to like his odds now then, right?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Want
I mean, he's still got one Gamekeeper in there.
I still want a Goblin Bombardment. Where is Goblin Bombardment? I guess probably not going to come down, but
that's why you got to play 4 of them, not 3 of them.
Okay.
That way you draw it all the time. I wonder if this Fires deck should actually be playing like Firebolt, because you mill them and you can just use them to kill the other Gamekeepers.
And 5 mana is a good chunk, but maybe. All right, we deeded for 4.
No Gamekeeper.
All right, we got the Boom Boom.
Yep.
I'm like, how come he doesn't play Anger? But the reason why he doesn't play Anger is because it's a creature. So
yeah. He could play the
Reckless Charge or Seize the
Day. No, the dragon thing is right.
Oh, Dragon Breath. Yeah.
No, it's not Dragon Breath.
Yeah.
It's the one that gives it +1/+0, whatever, right? In the haste.
Yeah, Dragon Breath.
Is it a breath?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
I think the problem is like you just have 3 Symbiotic Wurms, so it has to be like in the top chunk of your deck, and you never want to draw that card. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we got an Avalanche Riders.
This Riders will not have an opportunity to play Upkeep.
You have a feeling he's going to get in the way of this Wurm?
It'd be a lot of faith in the Avalanche Riders if he doesn't get in the way of that Wurm.
He's thinking about it.
I like how we're considering it, yeah.
I guess if you don't have anything else to do, then no, because like you can't take 2 hits from this, right? I guess you technically can. He's at 18.
The problem is, what are you going to draw next turn? Because you're going to invest 4 mana again.
It's kind of 3 because you have a Guy's Cradle, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're also taking a damage from your City of Brass again.
You could maybe use Undiscovered Paradise and keep the city, but I guess if you're playing anything else, he's thinking about it. All right. Oh. He's blocked. The Avalanche Rider takes 1 for the team. We got to follow.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. Now we're living the dream. Go get a swamp just to rub it in.
So, from this spot, what can Mano do? Like, Swords of Postures doesn't do anything.
He doesn't have Deed, right?
No, he doesn't.
He's got to draw, Battle Mage again. That at least kills the...
Okay. Yeah. Well, he's just...
he's dead now.
He's not quite dead. He can deal 15, right? Nothing
else.
7, then sack for 8.
No, he does 16, right?
Well, the Wurm would attack for 7. And then there's basically
sack for
8 creatures, so 15, right?
But the Wurm gets 1 damage when it goes out.
Yeah, that's where the 8 is coming from. 1 from the Wurm, and then 7 tokens.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, we got Fires of Yavimaya, so that's
a +2.
2 more, yeah.
Oh, we didn't use it. He's got something sick planned for next turn.
He's gonna... I was gonna say he's gonna cast another Symbiotic Wurm, but...
He's got all this mana, he's gonna finally just unleash on him.
Saproling Burst. Can we get a Saproling Burst?
Right. There's the Battle Mage.
That's the Thunderscape.
Yep. Kills an enchantment. Which one does he kill now, though?
the Goblin Bombardment. So I guess, yeah, I think you need to.
Yeah, for sure.
He's gonna use it. So deal a damage to your guy.
But no, deal damage to the face.
Well, he can do that later. He'll get 7 of these. Use one of them to get for the guy. Well, then, yeah.
Oh, sad times.
Yeah, and then the Goblin Bombardment goes away. So Mano, that bought him a turn basically, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, he's got bolt to the face.
Oh, is he just?
No, he's scooping.
Scooping. All right.
Yeah. Well, that's not. I actually expected the portal deck to win that one. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like he kind of started out of the gate fine. Like he had like the mana elves and stuff, and then
just no follow up.
Yeah, I mean there were a couple of times where Phil like took out the erratic portal, I think, pretty quickly. But then on the other hand, like Phil also, I felt like a couple times where his deck like didn't like he had some unimpressive Gamekeeper flips.
Yeah.
So I don't think either deck like worked at like 100% efficiency, but I mean those are the games that are interesting. I think like when both decks are like kind of mediocre of what they're trying to do, and like games go long and you get to make a bunch of decisions. But
yeah, I would like to see a game. I would like to see a best out of 5 of this one.
Okay. Yeah, it will be interesting to see if like other people try and adopt these decks and make changes and follow it, because I mean they both look like a blast to play. They both
the Dark Fires deck actually. I think if you could figure out somehow to get faster mana, it might be really cool.
I think some people were talking about like playing it with Oath of Druids.
Oh,
that doesn't excite you?
Not really.
But that's a consistent way to like either get Gamekeeper or the Symbiotic Wurm in play.
Yeah.
I guess here we can get a little bit of insight of how they sideboarded. So it looks like
we sided out a Fires recurring. We sided out 2 Symbiotic and an Innocent Blood.
We got 2 Thornscape. So the Thornscape is the one that can shock or heal an artifact.
Is it artifact or is it enchantment? These things are so confusing to me. He brought an Avalanche Spike Worker.
Spike Weaver, yeah.
Or Spike Weaver. That's kind of surprising to me.
What's that last card? Is it Compost? What is that, like a non-wish card? I don't know.
No, he didn't have Compost. Well, let me go ahead and take a look.
Okay.
That might have been Mesmeric Fiend. Possibly. Or it might have been Wall Blossoms.
Oh, I think it's a Wall of Blossoms. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, the Thornscape does. The white one does blow up an artifact.
An artifact, okay.
Interesting enough. Okay, and it looks like All the Herd and Innocent Blood. Okay. Recurring Nightmare, Fires.
Wait, sorry, I'll Call the Herd and not. Okay.
A couple of Call the Herds, it looks like.
That makes sense.
And then,
I guess.
Well, the Call the Herd probably is not getting in through like the walls,
yeah,
million walls. So, all right, cool. Well, I'll pause this. I guess Phil takes it down 2-1, and he'll be moving on. They might have even played like their. So that means Phil's in the finals. I don't even know where we're at in terms of if they played other matches, because this was played earlier in the week. But I'll bring up the deck list and see if there's anything we want to say. But I mean, I was really glad we got to see this match, because no one was able to stream it when they played it live. So at least we got it recorded and we can get some footage and people can enjoy this match, because I thought it was pretty cool to see these decks in action.
Oh, he did have 4 Goblin Bombardments.
Okay, so then
I thought he had 3. So we're unlucky not to draw it sooner.
Sure.
I think the Portal deck just looks really fun.
Yeah, it definitely seems like. I mean, I don't know what I would change, but it definitely seems like it has a lot of flexibility in terms of you could adjust things to a metagame.
Right.
I think it's still always going to have that problem of where it is going to have some clunky draws, but the games where you get to do your stuff, it seems like a blast.
I think not playing. I mean, I've never played the deck, but it just seems like you'd want to play Flametongue Kavu main deck. But I guess he's got the Battle Mage.
Yeah, I guess the idea is like when Flametongue Kavu is bad, it's just like really bad.
Yeah, that's true.
There's just enough decks where it just doesn't do enough. So, but yeah,
yeah, this deck is actually really cool. Like when you think about like the Dreadnought issue, you've got a bunch of ways to resolve it.
Sure.
Because I always think about that. Like a lot of people think about the Lackey turn one Lackey being a big issue in the format. I feel like Dreadnought's actually a bigger issue in the format. You always have to have a way of not dying to that.
Yeah, it's a lot less likely that a Dreadnought comes down on turn one than as compared to a Lackey. Like Lackey, you just need a Mountain and a Lackey, where Dreadnought you need 4 cards.
Yeah, but Dreadnought turn 2 is just as good.
It gives you a lot more chance to do stuff. Like I mean, like then also like black decks have like if it's on turn 2, then like Duress and Cabal Therapy come into play. So, but yeah, for this deck, yeah, I guess it doesn't really change anything.
Like if you look at Phil's deck, he's got the deeds, but that's pretty slow.
He's got Innocent Blood, but
that's true. I like the Rampant Growth in this deck. I think that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess getting up to that extra mana is just really good, and obviously you can't use the creatures like we talked about before. I mean, and if you're playing something like a Mind Stone, it's gonna get blown up by Deed, and plus I think you want the color fit. So the Rampant Growth is a nice fit in the deck.
How many swamps did he have? 2? Yep.
I'm having trouble seeing
2 swamps, 2 wastes, and 3 Sulfurous Springs in 1 city.
Okay. All right.
Well, was the black mana?
I see the swamp.
He's got a healthy amount of black mana.
Okay. Cool. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No. Pretty cool matchup.
Yeah.
So this one's in the finals then?
Yeah, Phil will be playing the finals. I'm not sure what he's up against, so
do we know what the other match was?
I don't know. I didn't look at it beforehand, so I'm not sure. But I'm almost positive that it will be streamed. So
that's cool.
So
well, hopefully he gets better Gamekeeper flips.
Yeah. But thanks everybody for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, take care.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.